On Saturday the 30th of January 2019, after posting this photo and not being pleased with the photo that I took and edited, I decided that I wanted to take part in a 30-day challenge of taking and posting a new photo every day, in aiming to improve my skill set in photography. So hence this video, 30 days of photography. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, hope you're doing amazing. My name's Alexandro. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my journey in taking part in a 30-day photography challenge and why this might be something you may consider doing yourself. Having a goal going into something like this can be very crucial, especially if you want to work on your craft. Therefore, if you do decide to go and take this challenge or something similar, just try and establish an aim because it can really help you work on something specific. However, when I actually decided to take this challenge on and when I did do it, I didn't actually establish an aim or a goal. So looking back, if I was to do this again, or if I was going to give advice to someone like you that are watching this, I would say establishing an aim, establish a goal can be a very good thing to do. For example, for one photo, you may want to establish the aim of working on your composition. So you might look at the rule of thirds, or you may want to work on your shallow depth of field. So you might want to put an object far in the background and have an object to focus on in the front to give that nice shallow depth of field. Or you may have a lens that gives you a good shallow depth of field that you may want to use to work on your shallow depth of field. I've said that word too many times now. There's lots of different aims that you could establish. Perhaps for free photos, you may want to have like the row on Instagram, you know, where you have like 3 photos that look similar to each other, like they're taken in the same location, and you may want to do that. Or you may want to take one photo and it might go over 2 rows or 1 row, and you may post them all in one day. You just have to think and establish an aim. Like, look forward, don't just take a photo, post a photo without thinking about it. Because if you do actually think about it, you could really improve the photography that you're taking. So for example, on my Instagram, when I did take part in the challenge, at some point I really wanted to get so I took a picture of something with a circle, and then I took another picture for something for a circle for the 2 more days. So if you look at it in a row, there's 3 things of a circle in a row, and it makes it really goes with the feeling of the grid and make it more aesthetically pleasing on Instagram. Like for example, if we scroll down further to below my Instagram, you can see that I have 3 photos of fireworks next to each other and like 3 Christmas themed photos. And you can see, I think I also have 3 photos together that have something square based. So there's like a deck of cards and there's a building, and it's just like you need to work on something and think about it to really make it even better before you actually do it. In doing this 30-day photography challenge, I do believe that I took some decent photos. Here are some of my favorites. This one here is a deck of cards called First Playing Cards, created by Chris Ramsey. And this is probably the favorite photo that I did take over the 30 days. The reason being not just the way it looks and how I've got like the padlock, I think, yeah, the padlock and like the circle thing, the washer next to it, because it matches with the theme of like magic kind of thing. And the reason behind what this is my favorite one, not only because of the way it looks, like I said, but the effort that went into doing it, because I set up the location in one spot and then I took some photos of it there from different angles and see what we get, and it just wasn't good. So then I set up in another spot. I tried again. I just scrapped it, moved everything, put it in another spot, took some photos, worked more on the lighting, and I ended up with a shot that I did. That way, sometimes you just need to step back and realize what's right, what's not working, try again. Also, here are some other photos that I did take over the 30-day photography challenge. Taking part in this 30-day photography challenge, I definitely did learn a lot. I learned about in-camera and out-of-camera use, so like actually taking the actual photo and post-production. For actually using the camera, I learned a lot more about lighting and how I can light my shots to really make the photos much better, because lighting is a very big impact in the way your shots come out. Because you may have this amazing camera, can take amazing photos, but if your lighting is terrible, it will still look absolutely terrible. Also, I learned about the importance of shutter speed, but not only shutter speed in general, but the way that my camera best suits it and the needs to the photos I want to take. If you have a camera, you may want to Google like the best shutter speed for your camera. Obviously it depends what you're taking a photo of, because that's a basic rule in shutter speed. So if you had someone jumping in the air, you want to catch them when they're in the air, you're going to put that shutter speed much higher than if you were just taking a photo of an object, for example, with your hands were still. Like, you wouldn't need the shutter speed at like 2000. You're just taking a picture of an object because it's not moving. But if you have like a falcon, that shutter speed is going to be around 2000 probably, because you need to catch it very quickly. As I said, I also did learn quite a lot about post-production, and especially using Lightroom. So I learned how when you're taking photos and you're posting them to Instagram, you want to export them at between 72 and 76, the quality, because by doing that you avoid Instagram compressing your photo, because their compressing software is quite aggressive and it's not as good as Lightroom's. So using Lightroom or whatever editing software you are using to grade or edit your photos, if you're using Lightroom, between 72 and 76 is the optimal quality to export your photos, because then it avoids the Instagram compression. I also learned a lot about working with colors and working with the shadows and the highlights and bringing out details in shots, and how like you can completely change a picture around with using Lightroom. It's unbelievable what you can actually do with that when you actually dabble into it, try, see what you can do. Yeah, it's definitely something that I learned a lot about, and I'm really happy I did. Being totally honest here, the challenge did not take 30 days. It took 31 days. I missed a photo one day and I just carried on, because that's what you have to do really. You can't just get bogged down on the, if you miss one day and just quit. You need to just carry on. So that's what I did. It took me 31 days to do a 30-day photography challenge. I don't really care much about it. It's just something you have to just get over and carry on with. Taking part in this challenge is something that you can do to really improve your skill set in photography, or whatever challenge you're doing, but we're talking about photography obviously. But it could also help you establish if you want something like this to be a career. For example, if it's a hobby right now and you really got to get into photography, and then doing something every day, can realize if it makes you happy, if you want something that you would want to take further, such as into a career. Doing this also forces you to be creative what you have around you, because a lot of my photos were me literally just walking around trying to find an object and take a photo of that, or something just to make a nice looking photo. Yeah, literally, it was like me just walking around trying to find something. And that's what you have to do sometimes. Like if you're just in your house and you're taking photos for your 30-day photography challenge, you just need to think, okay, what can I do? And that's why the 365 photography challenge is something that is really interesting, because it's something that you could do for a whole year. And by the time that you get to day 272, it becomes much more difficult, because you've taken a photo of so many things. You've taken a photo of coffee, you've taken a photo of your phone, you've taken a photo of your camera, you've done this, you've done that, you've gone out, you've gone there, and it makes you push your creativity even further. But getting started, I would recommend to go with the 30-day photography challenge, because when you're starting, if you go, okay, I'm starting photography, I'm going to do a 365 challenge, it will look so daunting on you, because you know, oh, I have to do this thing every day for a year. But when you look at 30 days, it's like, okay, that's not too far. That's just one day 30 times. Like, that's what the kind of thing, that's the vision I have in these 30-day challenges. That's why I would recommend doing a 30-day photography challenge to start off with. Thanks a lot for watching today's video. If you did like it, please leave it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next one.